to be 2 capital G here, so it might be time to ban Cannon Soldier. Kappa, that card is too broken. Anyways, I'm just messing around. I've got a new FTK to show you guys. This one is another Firewall FTK. I saw this one on Reddit last week, and it is super convoluted, but somebody ended up sending me a duel, and I watched it, and I was like, man, this is actually pretty damn disgusting. Basically, to start the FTK, the only cards you need are Armageddon Knight, and then one of the FA field spells. They replace themselves, so basically they float, and it's pretty damn dirty. Now, Armageddon Knight, I believe at one point did get limited in the OCG, and I don't know, maybe that's what we're going to have to need here. We kind of had 2 copies of Armageddon Knight because we do have the reinforcers of the army, but you see, even when his opponent has the Ash Blossom, which maybe he was a little overzealous with that, it just doesn't really matter. Now, in the OCG, they do not have Ancient Fairy Dragon, so they can't do this, but you see the FA cards, you get to blow them up, you get life points back, you basically get to special summon, and you get another monster, and then you're able to go, because you're going to normal summon an FA monster, you're going to turn it into a level 7, and then you summon Galaxy Tomahawk. Maybe Tomahawk is going to be a card. This is a card that I actually think could end up getting banned eventually, so maybe if they just ban Tomahawk, this would basically not happen, because I know that this card is used in a whole bunch of like FTK scenarios and whatnot. It's not like Dark Magician players are like, oh my goodness, no more Tomahawk, we can't do anything, and then he goes into obviously like the Troy Mares. I've said before, I thought the Troy Mares were a mistake. I'm talking like the entire archetype, the entire archetype except Ibli. Ibli's like the only card where I'm like, all right, that's cool, but all the Link monsters being so generic, I feel like is a problem. So yeah, this is convoluted, and you're gonna use ABC pieces, you're gonna use Firewall Dragon. You see he has the red reboot in there just in case, I guess, I don't know, for infinite transients and whatnot, but basically you're going to get to the point where you can get your Cannon Soldier on board, and then you're going to constantly use Cannon Soldier. You're going to tribute it for C, and once you get 2 C's in the graveyard, then you will constantly loop, and you will do this a whole bunch of times until your opponent's life points run out. But I don't know, man, it's just kind of scary that some of these cards, I kind of feel like Konami just needs to make the decision to hard go after all of these massive producing token cards. Like, just go ahead, limit Scapegoat to 1. If it's an extra deck monster, just ban it, because most of these extra deck cards like Tomahawk, you only need 1 copy. The Grinder Golems of the world, like, just get rid of all these cards, because it only, like, somewhere, somehow, some kid is going to end up thinking of one of these plays, and then next thing you know, it ends up winning a YCS, and everybody's weekend gets ruined. Now, we can't do this in the TCG because you guys saw Summon Sorceress used, and, the Troy Mares, or the Nightmares as they're called in the TCG, obviously not legal as of right now, but when Flames of Destruction come out, and when we do get Summon Sorceress, it'll be a different story. So, I mean, who knows what the ban list is going to look like by then, but yeah, this is kind of a scary deck to play against. You basically go second, and it's like GG no re. Your opponent opens up with the most random of cards, Armageddon Knight, and a fucking random ass FA field spell, and just win the duel. I think it's the fact that the FA monsters can become level 7 instantly is pretty damn powerful. But yeah, this is super random, but it actually works. Let me go ahead and pause and show you guys the deck list really quickly, so you guys can understand, or at least get a good idea of what these this travesty of a deck actually looks like on paper. Okay, so this is what the deck looks like on paper, and oh my goodness, this might be the most disgusting deck I have ever seen in my life. I mean, I want to call it a pile of crap, but if it works, it absolutely works, and it's an FTK deck, so it's not going to be a deck that looks very pretty on paper. It's basically just meant to pop off turn 1, kill your opponent, and leave them with no options if they go second, but to hope that they, open with a hand trap. And actually, that is quite covered, as you see cards like Red Reboot, which can literally take out hand traps like Infinite Transients, and then you also have Called by the Grave, which that can stop all your traditional hand traps like Ogre and Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs and whatnot. This is so weird, dude. I never thought in my life I would ever see a deck that runs 3 ABC pieces, but instead of actually running 1 of each, it runs 2 A's and a B. There is no C in this deck at all. That is just so jarring to see. You also have the 3 copies of Zodiac Barrage with the 1 copy of Ram Ram. Oh man, you gotta love it, man. You gotta love it. You got the one ancient gear wyvern for the catapults, I guess, and I'm thinking that that's basically just to blow up like the field spells. I don't know. This is essentially the deck, so maybe they could just take out Tomahawk and that would kill all the problems. I don't think that this FTK would be possible. Well, I know that in the OCG they don't have the FA field spell, so then I guess that pretty much just kills their potential of doing this. But also in the OCG they don't have Ancient Fairy Dragon, so I'm assuming even when they get FA, like they won't be able to do these plays. But yeah, just another deck that is going to potentially ruin your dueling experience. Hopefully some of these cards will get addressed. I really just think, boom, do this. This card you eventually know is just going to be associated with more like FTKs in the future, Konami. So here's what you do. You just delete Tomahawk and then you don't gotta worry about all these other random cards because they can't make a coherent deck. Anyways, thank you guys for watching as always.